Hafade, welcome to the Guam Contractors Association's GCA Today. And today we have a great guest, Holly Rustic, also a member of the Guam Contractors Small Business Committee. Holly, welcome.
Thank you
How you
so
doing?
much for having me here today.
Yeah, oh, thank you for coming. And you know what? When we first met at the one of our committee meetings,
Right.
when you introduced yourself and talked about grant writing, talk about fireworks all the way up. It's like grant writing. All I know about grant writing is when I think grant, you're gonna grant me some money. And today, that's why I'm so excited to have you here, because I want to know, and everybody would like to know, how can we get money?
Right. Well, there's many different ways, and grant writing is just one of the many different ways to increase revenue and funding, for organizations and businesses. So, it's just one avenue. There's other avenues as well, but this is one I specialize in. And I also specialize in technical writing for proposals.
All right.
So I kind of do both sides of the for-profit and the nonprofit, and really it's about seeing how to get funding for people's projects.
Wait, for-profit
Absolutely.
and non-profit.
Absolutely.
So both sides of the spectrum here,
Yeah.
you can help people that are trying to make money and people that really, there's some excellent organizations out there that truly do need that grant. I mean, that's how they survive. Every year they need to go through and fill out that application, and you're here to help.
Step in.
Yeah, so how long have you been doing this?
More than a decade, so quite a while. And
10 plus years.
Yeah.
You high five. Awesome.
Yeah, it's really, I love it. I love connecting projects to funding and just seeing different approaches and just connecting different, even, foundations, so philanthropy or federal government grants or UN grants, and just seeing that there are, there's priorities and funding priorities for people out there in different organizations, but connecting that with the people who are wanting to get the money, connecting those priorities and really seeing it implemented. So, yeah.
So when did you arrive? When did you get to Guam?
Actually, originally I was here in 93 to 95, and then I came back in 2011.
Wow, it's such a huge gap. Yes. So you've been grant writing all this time, providing all of this. If you could name a couple, let's just go amounts, from the lowest amount to the highest amount that you've ever worked with an organization, for-profit or non-profit.
Right.
What amounts are those?
It varies. I've done, when I first started, it was just micro enterprise, $500 US.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's small.
Yeah, that's small. And that was it was in Indonesia. I helped this lady get her her water business started again after the tsunami there. And that's all she needed, so it was amazing. But then I've also been able to get nearly $6 million in one go for an organization.
$6 million bucks. That's a lot of zeros there.
That is, yeah. And it's really helped out different organizations, and just being a part of it. One specific organization, I was getting $3 million plus a year annually for them. So, and that's just a variety of grants. So that wasn't one specific one. And also looking at funding streams. So, looking at crowdfunding, looking at fundraising, and I'm very strategic with fundraising. I know in Guam we do a lot of it. So I really try to be strategic with it because everyone's trying to pull the pot, right? But looking at grants, foundation, and federal, but just looking at different ways of program income too. Can you get revenue from opening a side business and still keeping it nonprofit, or for profits? What other avenues can you really look at as product creation and that sort of thing?
I'm married. I have 4 kids. I also have a small business, and I work with a lot of big businesses. But my wife and I always had this, if we could say, dream of sorts, and we need some funding. So do you, if I'm not a for-profit or non-profit, but we as a couple, we have this dream, you can help us with that?
Yeah, I come in and I'm not only, do the grant writing, but I help with grant management and also with board development, so governance, organizational capacity building, and just funding diversity, looking at diverse streams of income and revenue.
Outstanding. So, if we, from that household, from that dream, to existing companies, to nonprofit groups, how long does it take? Let's say, $1 million. From the day we introduce ourselves to you, hey, Holly, half a day, this is Joe. That one day, to the day we receive a check of sorts. And
Right.
hopefully we pray everything goes well.
Yeah.
How long do you think it'll take?
It just varies.
It
It
varies.
really does. I mean, certain foundation grants, they're open more throughout the year, their cycles, and they don't have the rigorous kind of review policies that federal
Okay.
grants do. So,
Okay.
or there's contract bids, and those with the federal government, and those can be a quick turnaround at times because they have to get the money spent. So it really just depends on the review process of
Okay.
the funding actual organization itself.
So that review process, if
Mhm.
there is a timeline of sorts, I mean, is as short as 3 months, 6 months, or as long as 2 years, 3 years?
I would say that long. I mean,
No?
usually I don't see that. I see more within 2 months. Well, a month, I would say, with the smaller foundations, all the way up to maybe 6 months with more federal organizations, larger grants.
And this is an annual thing. Every
Mhm.
year we have to apply for that grant if we
Sometimes.
choose.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes you can get multi-year or a
Nice.
continuation, but usually I have to put in a continuation still just to kind of give a report. This is how it went last year. This, kind of articulating any modifications and that sort of thing.
No. I'm completely new at this, and I just have that dream. You would help us with a first, you got to get a business license.
Right.
One.
Yeah.
You need that 501c3 or not?
If you're doing a nonprofit,
Okay.
yes, you need a 501c3.
Okay, and
So
then
that
even
was
a
the process.
for-profit, hey Holly, can you sit down with me and my brother? We have this small company. We'd like to venture into these other products and services, but we just need help.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of come in and say, okay, this might be a good strategy, and really help with that strategic framework of, first let's do a SWOT and see what's going to work, and then, really go into the whole process.
And on this one, you had this one question. You talk a lot about philosophy of money. That
do.
caught me. I mean, why is it so important?
It's very important because I see, especially the nonprofit sector, I would
Yeah.
say, but it definitely crosses over into other sectors. And a lot of it's the scarcity mentality.
Yes.
There's not enough, or if you work at a nonprofit, you have to get paid peanuts. You hear that a lot, and that's really just a philosophy. And what I come into is say, let's look at it from an abundance perspective.
Okay.
And there's money out there. People are freaking out right now.
Yes,
With
yeah.
the new administration,
Yes.
grants are getting kind of like,
Correct.
they're all going to be cut. And the thing is that some might be cut, but then we have to look at other ways of how to, there's still funding out there. There's still money. It didn't just disappear. It's
Correct.
out there. It's just kind of changed hands. So let's see. Now maybe it might be a better, kind of avenue to do some crowdfunding. Or, so you really have to look at who's really got the money in their hands now because it didn't disappear, and how are we going to approach that. So really
Yeah.
coming from more of an abundance mentality rather than that scarcity of we need to, just live off the bare basics, and all our volunteers have to get burned out, or our board of directors
Yes,
has to get burned out. And
gosh.
yeah, so I do a lot of governance training, like I
Yeah.
said, because I really want to mitigate those fields. Like, you don't need to have burnout. You just need to have, a better maybe strategy in place and that sort of thing.
And because we're with the Guam Contractors Association, if I may ask, is there any contractors right now that have approached you? Are you working with contractors?
Yes, absolutely. So definitely working on some technical writing
Oh, nice.
for
Nice.
proposals, for bids that are out there. There's a lot of money right now on Guam coming in from the, from the NAPAC and the military.
A lot is
Yeah.
like an understatement because
Yeah.
wow, that's a lot of
Right.
money coming. Yes.
So I'm definitely available to help. I am working with someone, but I am not exclusive. So
Yeah.
that's great. That's what I love about my business.
Yes.
I can really help many different organizations, not just one.
Not just one.
And I think that, now is the time to really push forward and, to make sure you got all your T's crossed and I's dotted to apply for those.
Now,
grants.
Holly, one topic that we did not bring up. I mean, great. To get here, you need to get into a car. To get into that car needs fuel to run.
Absolutely.
How do you get paid?
I get paid just based on my clients, and I
Okay.
have different services, so I can do direct services with clients. I also have products. Of course, my newest product
Yes,
is,
I was going to bring
my
that
book.
up.
Yeah, Wish Granted, Tips, Tools, and Templates to Write a Winning Grant. And this brings you through the whole process. And it's actually a workbook style, so you can fill
awesome.
it out. And this is also what I include when I do in-person trainings.
Okay.
So now I have this that I have to go with the whole thing, you know, so it's really nice. But I'm also creating courses, online courses, so, and that's not just on grant writing, but also on grant management, how to find grants,
Wow.
and that diversity of funding approach that I was speaking about, as well as governance and board training and all those fun things, because you really need to have a comprehensive system.
Yes, yeah.
If you get grants, and I've seen this before, I've seen people get monies before, and then once they have them, they don't know how to implement them properly, and their project is not sustained.
Correct.
So it's
Well,
very
you
important.
know what,
Mhm.
Holly, if I may, this title of this book, Wish Granted. You know, I wish for everyone to take advantage of this program,
Yeah.
the book that you have, the
Thank
programs that you can provide,
Mhm.
and please, everyone, wish granted. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I really appreciate your time
Yeah.
today.
Have a
Bye,
good day.
guys.